Good afternoon, everyone. If we could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, Sheriff.
Yes, sir. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good afternoon, everyone. Everyone received the minutes. A motion to approve the minutes.
Motion. Second.
On the question, all in favor?
Aye.
Opportunity for the public to address the board on agenda items only. Nothing. Okay. At this time, motions in regard to payables, the Community Correction Center.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
on the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Controller's report, please.
Yes, Judge. The Controller's Office reviewed the prison inmate and canteen account reconciliations, which were prepared by the Prison Business Office for the month of August 2025 and found no discrepancies between the reconciliations and the bank statement. The balance in the inmate account was $452,270.46 as of September 30th, 2025. The balance in the canteen checking account was $567,317.94 as of September 30th. And in addition, as of September 30th, the canteen account also included a balance in the Pennsylvania Local Government Investment Trust investment accounts of $969,003.64, which is earning approximately $3,423 monthly, and which will mature next in January of 2026. And during the month of September 2025, $106,327.74 was paid from the canteen account for the benefit, welfare, and education of county prison inmates. And an itemized details of those expenses are attached to my report. And that concludes my report.
Motion to accept the report.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
on the question. Community Corrections report. Norm, come on up.
Afternoon, Board. Mr. Chairman. The house arrest report for September 2025. The program's totals: adult house arrest had 105 participants and juvenile house arrest had 10 participants. Number two, the program's totals: adult house arrest total is $46,155.81, and juvenile brought in $1,600 for a total of $47,755.81. The program's expenses were $71,453.92. The program's completions were 24 for the month of September. The program's violations were 9 for the month of September. And the program's outstanding warrants are 3. The budget report overtime is at 26%, and expenses are at 75%, and revenue is at 63%. That is the report, sir.
Any changes in the monthly numbers or anything?
No, the monthly numbers are up to date.
Okay.
You're talking about the finances? Or,
Yeah.
Yes, sir, they're up to date.
Okay. Motion to accept the report.
So moved.
On the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Warden's report. Thank you, Norm.
The average daily population for September 2025 was 643 inmates, 596 were county inmates. We averaged 579 adult males, 2 juvenile males, and 64 adult females. And the average daily population of U.S. Marshal detainees was 147, and the average daily population of Susquehanna County detainees was 9. Our overtime and out-of-county boarding reports are attached. Our staffing update is currently our correctional officer numbers break down to on shift, we have 172 full-time officers, out on workers' comp, 5. FMLA, 1 on continuous FMLA, 80 with intermittent FMLA. We have 1 officer on administrative leave, and we have 3 full-time vacancies for 182 full-time officers. As of September, revenue was at 61% and expenses were at 73%, and our overtime line item is at 49%. Extraordinary occurrence reports, there were 6 in the month of September. On 9/18, a newly committed female with apparent self-inflicted wounds refused to cooperate with the booking process, and she began to physically act out, and a decision was made to place her in the emergency restraint chair for the safety of all involved. On 9/22, an intoxicated male was committed to the jail, and he began to make threats against staff. He was placed in the emergency restraint chair for safety purposes. On 9/23, a newly committed male began making suicidal statements. He then attempted to strike a sergeant who was assisting in the booking process, and he was placed in the emergency restraint chair to ensure the safety of everyone involved. On 9/25, a newly committed female was acting erratically and not cooperating with the booking process. She was placed in the emergency restraint chair for safety purposes. On 9/26, a male was discovered who had bitten his own arm. He was placed in the emergency restraint chair to prevent him from any further self-harm. And on 9/27, this same male, once removed from the ERC, he immediately began kicking his cell door and attempting to damage his cell's camera and the sprinkler system in the cell. He refused to comply with staff's orders and was placed in the emergency restraint chair for his safety and to protect the cell's equipment from his intentionally destructive actions. PREA, there was 1 PREA investigation completed in the month of September. It was an allegation of staff on inmate sexual misconduct. After investigation, it was deemed unfounded, and the completed investigation has been forwarded to the DA's office for review. Request for use of canteen account funds. In 2019, the prison board authorized the use of canteen account funds to purchase a whole body scanner, and that purchase was made. Part of that agreement, what came with it was a 5-year extended maintenance agreement. That maintenance agreement has expired, and I'm seeking the prison board's authorization to use canteen account funds to purchase a new maintenance agreement with Secure Technology Value Solutions, formerly known as NewTech. There are several options. There's a 1-year, a 3-year, and a 5-year option, and I listed the price for each of those options. All 3 options provide for corrective maintenance, preventative maintenance, software upgrades, and 24/7 support services for the whole body scanner. The whole body scanner is an effective tool for monitoring and deterring the entry of contraband into the facility. There have been a number of occasions where we have been able to identify attempts to introduce drugs and other items into the facility with the assistance of the scanner, and we view this piece of equipment as invaluable in our efforts to provide a safe and secure environment for the prison population. With that said, I'm hopeful that the board will consider authorizing entry into a maintenance agreement with STVS for either the 3-year or the 5-year option. And that's mostly out of laziness, so I don't have to beg every year. Personnel matters. There are a few matters to discuss in the executive session if the board determines to have an executive session. And this concludes my report.
Warden, in regard to the scanner, if it's 5 years old, is it a current one, or I mean, is there a more modern one?
There are new versions that came out from different companies. We haven't really had any problems. This is more like an insurance if something does go down. So I have no complaints about our scanner.
Is there any possibility for us to price what a new one would be as compared to, and just seeing what differences there are?
Sure, I could definitely look into that. I know right now they're probably running, depending on the model you get, 150 to 200, 250,000 for a whole body scanner.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I think we got it at a discounted price at the time and a substantial amount off, but they were going right at that point 5-6 years ago. It was 150-ish.
It just seems that there's been an awful lot of updates and changes to them, and just worth looking at. And
but I could definitely get those numbers.
otherwise, in regard to it, a motion to approve the 5-year. If you decide that the other ones aren't worth it, Do I have a motion to accept the 5-year contract?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Any questions?
Do they
Right.
take, do they take trade-ins, like with the,
I don't know, haven't asked that question. I'm doubtful,
I don't know, just wondering.
but we can probably
They
take it
actually,
to
they
the.
actually have an off-market,
Do they?
where it goes off to other places in regard to it. They do it with the TSA and everything else, so I'm sure it's the same for these.
Yeah,
Warden, how old is this piece of equipment right now?
6 years.
6 years old?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So motion is based upon a contingency of whether or not there's another appropriate new body scanner. If there is not, then we'll extend it for 5 years. Questions for the warden? Warden, in regard to last month, we spoke about the medical and the psychotropic drugs. We've had conversation since then in regard to Armor Health and the contract. Could you just report on that a little bit?
Sure. Where we're at is pending having an actual meeting, not just me, with Armor Health. There's a little bit, if you notice the report that I've been submitting for the medical department on their behalf, there's some what look like big discrepancies that are there. I think part of what we're seeing is that they've changed their health service administrator. They have a new person in place, and some of the items that I had the previous one tracking, this individual wasn't tracking that. So there are some unanswered blocks in that report that are there. But there are some vacancies. What was reported was reflecting what was in September, and currently there's still vacancies, but it's not as many vacancies as it looks. But it's just a matter of getting together, Your Honor, with yourself and Barb Durkin, and we can talk about other matters with Armor Health, and then I'll have more to report on at that point.
And just for the edification of the board, met with Barb Durkin, and she had the behavioral health individual also looking into it so that we can be better informed as to what needs to be done in regard to that contract, and also so that the county doesn't have to be footing the bill for the things we talked about in regard to MAT and other matters. But thank you for your help in regard to that.
Not a problem.
And did we already approve the report?
No, we approved it.
Okay. Motion to approve the warden's report?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So approved. Thank you, Warden.
Thank you.
The public to address the board.
Joan Hodawan at Scranton. I looked at the overtime report, which ran through I think, September 23rd, and it's very impressive that it's only at 49% of what was budgeted. But then leads me to ask a question on the warden's other report about, of 182 correctional officers, 80 have intermittent FMLA. That's 44% of the total. But I'm curious, because intermittent can be 1 day or it could be 29 days. So I wonder if the ward, do you have any sense for how that equates to days, those 80 intermittent FMLA?
It's all over the place. Some people have it, it's good for 1 8-hour shot a month. Other
Yeah.
ones have it up to 3 or 4 times a month, 2 and 3 days.
Well, it's obviously not impacting on overtime totals since, it's 49% and you're through September 23rd. So I think that's excellent. And the other thing that impressed me was on your population report. And it goes from September of 2024 through September of 2025. The total population went from 730 to 643, which is a 12% decrease. Yet, revenues from the U.S. Marshals Service increased 29%. And I'm just wondering, and you have fewer inmates from that service. Did you increase their fees?
Yes.
Because that was a substantial increase, in, of 29% to get your revenues up. So I was kind of impressed by that.
Thank you very much. Other members of the public? No one? Oh, okay. Well, I'm not going to upset that. At this time, we are going to go into executive session with the warden. If everyone can just excuse yourselves, we'll call you back in. Thank you very much. Warden? At this time, completion of the executive session, a motion to approve the warden's action in regard to discipline, in regard to one of the COs.
Second.
On the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Warden.
Thank you.
At this time, a motion to adjourn? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. The meeting is adjourned.